I'm in the kitchen today. Yes, I am, because I'm making me a salad because I'm hungry and figured I'll just let y'all chill with me while I make my salad and we'll chat. So today I want to talk about how I believe my health conditions contributed to my mental health breakdown. So during the pandemic, I was noticing a lot of crap happening. First thing was I had this pain in my neck one morning. I woke up and my neck was just killing me. So I turned to my husband and I said, babe, I think I slept wrong, my neck really hurts. And he offered to massage it and I tried to work it out a little bit and it just was really, really painful. So it persisted for about, weeks because I thought it was a crick in my neck, but because of how long it went on for, I was like, no, there's gotta be more than that. So I ended up going to the doctor and getting it checked out because it wasn't going away. It wasn't getting any better. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I went to the doctor, had them check it out. They actually ended up x-raying my neck and saw that I had a cervical strain. And they said they've been seeing a lot of that because so many people are working from home on laptops that they're bent over in this weird position. So it's creating this strain in our necks. So either way, they sent me to PT, gave me some medication, and that pretty much resolved the neck issue. But then I started getting pain in my shoulder and my elbow. So I was like, what the heck is this now? When I tell you my neck pain though, back to my neck pain, it was really severe. I don't want you to be like, oh, I just had a crick in my neck. My neck, it felt like my spine couldn't support my head. When I needed help getting out of bed most mornings. I couldn't lift my body, my head out of bed. Felt like my spine just wasn't able to support my neck, my head. So it was just very, very painful. So that's why I went to the doctor. Anyway, PT and the medication took care of that. But now I was experiencing pain in my shoulder. My shoulder and my elbow. So I went back to the doctor and they said I had tennis elbow. So I had to wear a brace on my forearm for 6 weeks. 24 hours a day. The only time I took it off was to shower because I just didn't want it to get wet. Then put it right back on. So I wore that for about 6 weeks. Still persisted. So I went back to the doctor and they gave me a cortisone shot in my elbow. Didn't work. So I went back to the doctor and they gave me another cortisone shot in my elbow. So that one, however, helped and got rid of the pain. And I've been pain-free since, thank God. So, crunchy cucumber. After all that, I fainted in my kitchen one night, right here, over by the refrigerator. My daughter woke up in the middle of the night, burst into my room, saying she's thirsty. So I got up to get her a bottle of water, fill her water bottle. So I went over to the refrigerator. And next thing I know, I was on the floor. Literally right there on the floor. I told my husband the other day, I think I have PTSD. Because every time, in the middle of the night when I get up and I'm thirsty and my water bottle's empty, I have to come to the kitchen to refill it. And whenever I have to do that, it reminds me of that incident. So I was like, babe, I think I have PTSD. But anyway, so I fainted in the kitchen, no idea why. A few days later, I went to the doctor to get checked out and they did an EKG and did some blood work. And my EKG came back abnormal. So they sent me to get a CAT scan of my chest. So when I went to get the CAT scan, they didn't want me to leave the imaging office until they got the results. So I waited around And while I was waiting, eventually I got called up to the front desk that I had a phone call from my doctor. And my phone call from my doctor said, he goes, I'm going to need you to go to the ER. I'm like, the ER for what? And he's like, you have pulmonary embolism, which is blood clots in your lungs, and it's putting strain on your heart. I said, what now? So, of course, I listened to my doctor. I mean, I questioned him first, like, what is going to the doctor, the ER going to do? I don't understand. So he was like, they're going to run further tests and, keep you on the observation, maybe give you medication, whatever the case may be. So I went to the ER, ended up admitting me after giving me another EKG. That was abnormal. They admitted me to the hospital and took me in for an emergency procedure where they went in through my groin and up to my lungs to remove blood clots that were close to my heart, and said I needed to stay in the hospital for 2 days for observation. So I gotta be honest, while I was going through all that, I was never in despair where I was like, oh my God, am I gonna die? I feel like my life is gonna be over. I never really felt, I was in pretty good spirits. I was, everything was light for me. It wasn't something I felt like I was going to die from per se. So I think that has a lot to do with how well you recover. I think just keep that in mind, that when you're going through stuff, if you keep your spirits lifted, you'll probably recover faster. So I went through the procedure and I felt like I was in an episode of Grey's Anatomy. I was like, they were rushing me down the hallway. They got to the big doors, and they turned to my husband and said, this is as far as you can go. You're gonna have to wait for her out here. And they took me into the surgery or the procedure room, whatever. They lifted me from one stretcher to the other, to the operating table, and they gave me anesthesia. I went under, I woke up, and it was over. So I had to stay in the hospital for about 2 or 3 days. And that's when my depression kind of sunk in, because I started feeling like abandoned there, because COVID didn't really allow for a lot of visitors, and my family didn't really make a huge effort, in my opinion, to come and see me, because there wasn't really much that they could do, and there wasn't really anything that I needed besides just wanting to feel like someone cared about me. So while I laid there, my husband came to visit me once, and it was like almost right before visiting hours was over one night, the night before I got discharged. And I was just so disappointed and so depressed and sad that I just started feeling really, really down. I was just like, no one came to see me, no one cares about me. Then I have thrown this whole pity party for myself and just feeling really, really bad. And that's what brought my spirits down. It wasn't even really my sickness. So the sickness was what got me there, but then being there and being alone is what caused me to feel really, really depressed and sad. So I wouldn't say that they did it to me. I did it to myself, because I put so much power and so much emphasis on needing them to behave a certain way for me, or to show me they care about me in a certain way, that when they didn't do it that way, I felt abandoned and sad and lonely and depressed. And it took me to a different level and a different mindset, and it's not healthy. So that was really the main contributor. It wasn't so much that I got pulmonary embolism or, the arm, this and that. Yeah, those things happened and it didn't feel good, but it wasn't really wearing on my mental health that much. It was being in the hospital, being there for 3 days, and not having any one of my family members visit me, except for my husband, like I said, for that short period of time. And again, I was like just rationalizing it so bad. Like, you waited till the very end of visiting hours to come and see me. I've been here all day. How could you, why did you even bother coming? Like, I was having this whole pity party and like not really feeling anything. So like, it was really bad. And I just went down from there. It was just like, this isn't good. And I felt my energy like depleting. I felt my spirits just lowering, and I just knew that I wasn't happy anymore. I just didn't want anybody to be around me. I didn't think they really cared. I was just like depressed. So I say all that to say, it's important that you don't put that much power into other people's hands. Yes, it would have been nice for them to visit me, but it wasn't that they didn't care about me. It wasn't that they didn't want to see me. There was really nothing that they could have done by coming to the hospital. And they didn't want to make me feel worse by coming there and worrying with me and everything like that. They did call and check on me. I think my daughter dropped off some food for me at one point. So they did do different things, but I was so consumed with the fact that they weren't physically there. I was like, no one should leave me in the hospital by myself. Someone should have been by my bedside the entire time. They don't care about me. And I made this scenario in my mind so huge that it literally just weighed me down. So you have to really check yourself when you're going through stuff like that and really rationalize what's really going on and appreciate it for what it is and really understand that you are loved, and that even if people aren't behaving the way you want them to, it doesn't mean that they don't love you. And ultimately you get to love yourself first and give yourself what you need. So don't do what I did. Take it from me. It's not fun. So being in a hospital made me feel really bad after thinking about my family and how much they didn't really care about me. But it wasn't that they didn't care. They were just showing it in different ways. So I hope this helped. It was a huge contributing factor for my mental health. And I now know that I get to decide differently, and I don't give anyone that much power over my well-being and my mental state. So yeah, it's a perk. It's not something that's needed. So I was definitely needing that, and I didn't get it. And that's why I went, pew, don't be like me. Till next time. In case you wanted to see what the salad looked like that I was making.